all of my Godzillas are falling over and my hair is a mess, but I don't care. So I literally just now got out of therapy with Laura, and I want to talk about a bit of a breakthrough that I had this week. Because on Tuesday, I accidentally missed a dose of my sertraline, my antidepressant, which has never happened before. But I have a routine in the morning for taking it, and of course, my dad interrupted it. And so I skipped that step in my day and proceeded through my day as if I had taken it because I thought I had. And my dad and I got in kind of a fight because I was getting more and more moody and unstable, and like my brain was just immediately aware of the fact that it had not gotten its SSRI. So, by the afternoon, I just felt like shit. And I was just exhausted and I felt out of control of my emotions. And I started getting the infamous brain zaps at about 7 o'clock when I was getting in the shower. And it was like shockwaves going off inside of my head. It's like my head was going brrr, except I wasn't moving. But they would come in waves. It'd be like bzz, 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 bzz. And it'd be like there'd be one and then there'd be three. And it was a really, really weird sensation. It didn't hurt. It didn't interfere with my ability to function. But I was like, am I getting brain zaps? Why am I getting brain zaps? And I took my shower and I just kept having more and more of them. Anytime I'd move my head or bend over to like wash my feet or rinse out my hair or whatever. Or to put, my lotion on to control my eczema skin. Because, I got it on my back and my shoulder and my tummy and my lower back and like the groin area where my legs and my pelvis join each other. That spot, I get it there too. And my right hip. I have weird patchy eczema. I don't know why. But, I was doing the lotion and every time I would twist, it'd be bzz, 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 the zaps. And I'm like, did I take my sertraline? And so I went and checked, and that's when I realized I hadn't. And I was like, oh shit. But here's where I had this major breakthrough. I found out the real major trigger for my suicidal ideation while I was in the shower. Because I'd had a fight with my dad, and I was spiraling. And I figured out the suicide ants as an automatic negative thought. I call it the suicide ant. And usually it's like maybe one or two a week, 3, 4 every 2 weeks. It's not a constant thing. But those ants, just like when you have an ant infestation, you got to go find where they're coming from. You got to follow the trail to the hole they're coming through or the crack in the wall or whatever. Well, I followed them because I had so many of these ants going off in my head. And I was naming what they are instead of marinating in the bad thought. I was like, you're an ant, you're an ant, you're an ant, you're an ant. But there were so fucking many of them. It's feeling trapped. Feeling trapped triggers the suicidal ideation. Now, the trigger for that spiral was my dad trying to tell me not to get my hopes up about moving out because the room may not stay available to me. But I had told him that Marcy's going to pay this lady in June and claim the room until I can move in. So the rent will be paid even though I haven't moved in. So like the space will be paid for. And he's like, well, are you sure? And that spun out into me. And later that day, because Dad had a doctor's appointment, Marcy came over, my sister, and she talked to me about it because she noticed that I was moody, and I explained, and she's like, I'm going to get your Social Security disability income sorted out because she's being set up as my payee, and the bank is fine. It's the Social Security bureaucratic bullshit that they keep screwing around instead of just putting her name on the account, which it should be. She should be getting my bank statements, and she still isn't yet. So she's making a fuss about it, trying to escalate it. But anyway, she told me, no, Christy's going to get paid. You don't have to worry. And I'll tell you if you have to worry. And right now you don't. So it's okay. And then she went and asked Dad what happened because she wanted both sides of the story. And he totally lied to her and tried to say, don't get your hopes up about moving soon, when that is not what he said. And I made that clear that's not what he said. So he was trying some gaslighting shit there. Anyway, so Marcy just kind of rolled her eyes and she told him, just don't make those kind of comments. And my dad's acting like he's the victim as usual. But anyway, the spiral kind of got out of control in the shower, but then I found out, the source of those ants, the suicide ants. I found that source while I was in the shower, and I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. Marcy told me not to worry. I'm not trapped. I'm waiting. And this will pass. Meaning being basically my dad's prisoner to all of his disabilities and needs, which are not his fault. But when you're a caregiver, it can feel like a prison. And when you're a caregiver who needs care yourself and you can't get that care because the person that took care of you has died, as my mom did, it's really, really hard. And on top of that, I had missed my dose of sertraline, so my brain chemistry was really screwed up. It felt like having a hangover, honestly, by the end of the night. And then the next day, I got up and I ate a donut that I'd put right by my bed, and I took the meds as soon as I got up because I was not going to go another hour awake without my sertraline because, holy shit, I felt awful. And I didn't just recover right away. This is the first day that I felt more or less back to normal. Because Wednesday and Thursday, I just felt so hungover and tired and heavy and a little bit ill. And not because I was sick with anything, but just, I had this weird headache in my forehead, and it's just my brain chemistry was screwed up, and it's finally stabilizing again. But, oh my God, that was awful. Do not ever just cold turkey quit an antidepressant. And if you miss a dose, be aware of it and find a routine that doesn't let you forget. I added a reminder on my iPad that just says sertraline, just so that I'll double check that I took it so that that doesn't happen again. Because that was awful. Whew. But anyway, yesterday I recorded Growing Up with Godzilla with my beloved friend Donnie. I love you, babe. And that'll be on Sunday on his channel. And it might pop up on mine because I'm on there as like a co-creator. So it might show up on my channel too. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to be on Donnie's podcast talking Godzilla. Like one of my favorite subjects in the world. Can't you tell? Godzilla, 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 Godzilla. Godzilla. So anyway, I'm not trapped. I'm waiting, and this will pass. And it will pass for you too. Love you guys.